Welcome to Life Plus Plus, where we aim to add more value to life by sharing knowledge, life lessons, and combined experiences from our friends, colleagues, and associates. In each episode, we look to be talking about real life issues and things that are important to you. So if there's anything you want us to discuss, leave them in the comments section below or email us at lifepluspluss@thethrowdown.com. Throwdown is THATHROWDOWN. This episode is brought to you by Kososhi Clothing. Welcome to episode 9. I am Lambo the Virus. And with me today, the original king of Nigerian dancehall, the sensei of Naija ninjas, the big boss wolf himself, Baba Dee. What's good, bro?
Where did you learn to do all this thing now? Look at Labo. Labo just came like some like OAP shit, man. Come on.
I say, may I welcome you. May I welcome you.
Man. Labo just going hard, man. Like Larry King. For real. Man, it's nice to be here.
Nice one. Nice having you.
Seeing the podcast out there, and it's quite interesting, and it's a great one. So
Nice one.
Nice to be here.
Nice one. Nice having you. How is music now? How is life? We know that you're one of the pioneers of this new wave of Afrobeats, because back then, when music was uncool, you were one of the first set of people to actually add that cool factor to Nigerian music. Do you see that music has evolved now? You know, starting from before you to when you were actually doing it full time to what it is now that these young cats are doing.
Like the only thing certain about life is growth. So I think the music has grown from one point to a new point right now, and it's a good thing that the music is being globally accepted.
Yeah.
So right now, it's a world phenomenon. The Nigerian Afrobeat genre.
Yeah.
It's huge, and it's a good thing. So we walk to it. We gradually progress from one step to the other. I don't think there's actually anything that's done different. I just think it was about the factors aligning to fit a particular season. So I don't think there was anything that was done from the past to this past, except consistency in the churn out.
But
Yeah, so we started churning out more. The boys went into work more. The lifespan of the music reduced, and the churn out increases. The budget for the videos increases. The promotional budget increases, and it was a new wave of melody that the world is just getting attracted to. It's not entirely new because it's familiar, because it's black sound, it's African sound.
word. And that's one of the reasons why it's so natural for them to just gravitate towards this our sound.
They don't even know. As long as you have melanin, as long as you have Africa in you, which is the source of creation and the source of everything, the rhythm is gonna move you. When you hear the rhythm, when you hear the percussion, when the movie comes, it's gonna move you. And now that the singing is mixed with a little bit spice, with a little bit of this and a little bit of that, a little bit of reggae, a little bit of hip hop, a little bit of, so we sampled and we experimented to this point, to the point that we evolved our own style. Yeah.
But that's deep. What do you see that is, I wouldn't say hindering, because already we know that Afrobeats as it is now is growing at an astronomical rate. We know that one. But in terms of the industry, for the platform for people to start to monetize their music, we're not talking about the A-listers now. The young boy on the corner that has, a decent single, how can they start to make money off of that single? What is it that is hindering us now, or what is it that we can do better in terms of the industry?
Well, like I said, as I was talking about the evolution of music. I was talking about the evolution of the genre. But at this point, we have to talk about the evolution of the distribution of music. Music actually started. We started out from 8-track tape, then 8-track tape to DVDs to VCDs, and now the music is at the point where everything is distributed digitally.
True
So
that.
the way the consumers receive the music have changed a lot in the last 2 3 years, to the point that a lot of people believe that the physical CD is endangered. Yeah, because people are downloading, they're streaming. The phone becomes a major part in the narrative. So right now, it means you have to look at things like intellectual property, IP, critically to
Yep.
make sure that everybody's being remunerated in the very, very right proportion.
Yeah.
So that comes to the CMOs, copyright management. Copyright management in Nigeria is very weak. Copyright management in Nigeria is like every other thing in Nigeria, hijacked, bullied, and some people are using it as
Their birthright.
not just like profiting themselves like a mafioso thing. And this is the life of young Nigerian artists. This is the life and the future of Nigeria. You know, if we are a country that is really, really serious about creating capacity for the youth, the whole discussion with where we are right now with Nigerian music should be about copyright management. It should be a sort that in Nigeria, the way our music is, everywhere, every time the music hits the radio, every time the music is being played in the barbing salon, every time the music is being, there is a point you can keep proper track of this and you can get paid for that.
Yeah.
Because that is the intellectual property.
Yep.
Not until you sell physical CDs, not until you but this environment, what is happening to this environment in Nigeria, this environment is operating. It's operated like a form of how do I put it? Like it's a favor to the artist. That is what we're dealing with in Nigeria. We have, and it's not just about the musician. It's a high power thing. We have judges involved and benefiting from this. We have
Judges.
government officials, involved and benefiting from this. We have regulatory body, executive, benefiting from this because the money is not properly being distributed, and the enabling factors to govern the proper distribution of this collective wealth of intellectual property owners is not being established, is not being put in place. So, just so some people can profit from it. So that's a pathetic state of Nigeria.
It is.
I had a lot of hope when our president was coming in. Like, okay, finally, all we need to do is write this guy and let him know what the nation is losing in the environment of intellectual property. But it seems like there's no genuine interest from the government of the day to look at this. So that is the state of our industry. We have artists releasing music, getting millions of downloads, millions of streaming, but it's not reflecting in their earnings. So the artist's only source of income is when he has to show up. You have to perform physically. That is the industry that we have. And even at that, showing up to perform physically, in most cases, is as a function of somebody sponsoring the show. It's not as a function of people actually paying tickets to want to see the artist and to cover enough to make enough money for the promoter and the artist. So right now, if that is not functioning, I think what should be functioning, what the government should look at, what is very, very important is that the intellectual property environment in Nigeria is well organized. It's squeezed because this singular factor will have a quadruple effect on the youth. It will help the youth. It will help the IP owners. They will have a source of income instead of dancing around a lot of things about complication. And until now, people are still earning flat rates for music with somebody that don't even probably have no music out there. So it's rigged, it's funny, it's dodgy, and it's something that the government should do to alleviate poverty in the society.
Is this because the people, the bodies that we know are in existence now, is it because the people who are heading those companies or organizations are, one, incompetent in the sense that they know nothing about what they're heading, or is it because of the usual Naija greed?
All right.
Because we know about bodies that exist now to handle the IP of artists at the moment.
Yeah, but right now it's all about being honest and being straightforward, the sincerity of purpose. Tired of a abracadabra way of doing things, which has become our national way of doing things, which has become something that we've all accepted and something that we all put as a representation of who we are. Now, the point now is that I'm a member of international copyright management organizations. I know the way it functions, I know the do's and the don't, and I know the way their operational system. Now, if we in Nigeria create a facade, a promo, hey, this is that, this is this, but the actual job to be done, is woeful, which is to collect money from these people and distribute to this owner at a point where you as a CMO just takes a particular percentage of that money. That is not more than what you should take. So that environment is so affected by the Nigerian factor. It's so affected by the Nigerian factor that people don't even care. The officials don't even care if that sector is properly governed. So I know nobody's talking about it. It's not an issue for the National Assembly to discuss. It's not an issue for anybody to try to do anything to it because they actually and sincerely and genuinely don't know the extent at which this is affecting the life of the citizens, like every other thing. So.
And that's why I'm happy that you are the one that is here, because I know you have extensive knowledge, not just in music in Nigeria, but in terms of the bodies and the structure behind how music should be regulated, how it should be monetized, what it is that people are losing, by not having their IPs protected. It's a tough one, Sha. It's a tough one. I know there was an issue with the body called COSON. I know there was an issue there. I don't know how it is or if it's been resolved or where that one is.
I don't even want to go there because, sincerely, sincerely for someone like me, I think the honors falls on me. If there's anything regarding the artist, I should be able to stand firm and say the truth about certain things, But if you find yourself in an environment where people don't even understand, and people even choose to play ignorance, or people even choose not to understand because the information is out there. Information is out there. If you want to find out what copyright management is, the information is out there. But our people don't care because they have never been benefited by that, so they don't care. So it's nothing. Or we're talking about big time celebrities, the ones that are doing very well, the face of the brand. Those ones hoping like they could get like an international company come and get them this copyright management of them, and then they can do all this. But this is, for me, I don't think that is the way to go, because everything still boils down to where you're from, your home. And if we can work out this thing in Nigeria, we need to make this thing happen in Nigeria, then we're going to have a music industry. When people start earning the right money they're supposed to earn, you understand? When you can keep accountability per hits on radio, you can keep accountability per downloads and streaming, and actually remunerate the artist in the proper way. that is going to reflect the change
Yeah.
that the Nigerian music industry needs.
Yeah. Do you think that we're still going down that way of slave master mentality? I'll tell you what I mean. Because we know that there's a lot of independence now when it comes to artists releasing their songs.
Yeah.
So you can take your song now and release it independently on Spotify, iTunes, and the rest of that. But we're still subjected to those platforms. Means we don't have our own platforms now. We're not learning from the past that, okay, we have iTunes, though, it's global. Spotify, likewise, all these things are global that we can use for a global reach. But how are we building something for ourselves? You get? I don't know. I see we're still going down that slave master.
Now, for me, this is how it is. We told to create this particular genre and make
Yep.
it acceptable, but now it looks like now that the whole world is accepting it, the people benefiting are the ones that didn't actually do anything. But that is life. Such is life. That is how it is. If I invest my money, if I see an artist and I think this artist is good, I think this artist is promising, I think if this artist can be more structured, maybe he can make a hit artist and I can make a lot of money from that.
Yeah.
And if you make a lot of money from that, eventually you start to see it as a business. You understand? You start to see it as a business. So right now they're approaching the whole thing as a business, and the way they're approaching it as a business is that winner takes all.
Yeah.
So for the sake of our own nationality, for the spirit at which this came out, it's important for us to own some of the businesses.
Exactly. And that's why, what are we doing?
We have to be stakeholders in it.
Exactly.
So we can just take everything and let people from different parts of the world come take it off us.
Yeah.
We have to be the foundation. We have to be ahead
Yeah.
of the world in terms of what to do with the Afrobeat, how to market the Afrobeat, how to commercialize the Afrobeat,
Yeah.
and how to merchandise the Afrobeat.
Exactly. I agree with you 1,000,000%. The only problem now is I don't see anybody doing that. I don't see us doing that. And even if we did, one person actually started. I might be wrong, but you know the typical black man mentality. We don't support each other. If you see that it's one black guy that has started his own version of iTunes, but that will have the same sort of outreach, but you know, is a new thing, is a new platform that they're not really familiar with. Our people won't support.
Well, it puts me to another fundamental questions like, what do you term support? The only thing is that if this guy is black,
Yeah.
and sometimes you find out that this black guy don't even have a black man's mentality and he doesn't even care about you anymore than the Italian guy down the road. So for me, I don't think racial profiling in this case has contributed. How do I put it? Has contributed anything major? Has helped achieve anything major? In the whole thing.
Yeah. So, but what do we now do now? I don't know what we can do. What can we do? We need to own our own thing. We need to have authority.
Now, what we need to do is this. Like what you're doing, we are controlling our narratives. There's a byproduct for everything that comes out. There's always a byproduct. For hip music, there's a byproduct. There's this going on. When you do that and you're distributing byproduct or you're selling byproduct, be consistent, stay with it, create a brand with it. It all boils down to branding. That's what I'm saying. Everything we do now, we create our own brand of it, just like we've created our own brand of music. And it's left to individuals. Some of us are doing it. Some are making clothes branded with their brand and their selling brand. Like Vector, for instance, he did well with the Inoki. Sold a lot of pieces. Fortunately, the person is dealing with is someone I know, so he pushed a lot.
Yeah. Even Kososhi,
Even
Kososhi,
Kososhi
yeah,
has been incredible because people have them in their mind.
yeah,
You understand? Like
yeah,
this is Nigeria.
yeah,
This is this. That is what I'm talking about now. That we have to harness every available opportunity.
very
There.
true.
We have to harness every. I'm booking artists, booking them for some of the festivals, the 80s today.
Yeah, in
And that
Sweden,
is,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I've seen. I
Other
saw a spot
places.
at the artist you were working with.
I'm booking the artists. I'm giving them shows. I'm doing it as a business though.
Yeah,
You know, so that is some other part of it that we should be. But like I said, like I've always been saying, the artist is the least important part of the entertainment industry because the artist is just gonna have a hit once or twice, and if you don't have a hit, if you don't have a hit music, then you become irrelevant. But if you've managed to create a brand over the years of being consistent, and people know you, and they've always seen you, and they see that you're still doing it, then you can last longer on their mind and you become first among equals. So we as ourselves, we as Nigerians, we as showbiz entrepreneurs, we need not to stick with one part of what we're doing because if you look very well, there are other parts that are very, very important and necessary in that factor.
yeah. Good thing. This is a fantastic segue into what I wanted to ask about the difference between Nollywood and our music scene. Is there a difference in terms of IP generation or monetization? Or
Nollywood is still behind.
wow,
Nollywood is way, 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 way behind. Very recently, they tried to create a CMO for Nollywood so that they can earn royalties from their films. So it means that we've had 20 years of nobody earning PIM
wow,
from royalties, and we had buses. We had this music being played in buses to Onitsha, Aba. These videos being played to entertain crowds that have actually paid money for it. So this is a height of being ignorant. You know, it's just a height of being ignorant because people will tell you that I don't know. You pay for this? No, I bought the CD. You bought the CD to consume in the privacy of your home, not to play to entertain your customer.
yeah,
The moment you play this music to entertain your customer and you're not paying, then you need a license. And if people can get properly licensed, if the people can get properly licensed,
yeah,
then we all start to know that, like, oh, this is a different ballgame entirely. So it's something that the government needs to look at. It's something they need to watch. It's something that should be a priority. Something that should be prioritized because the people is affecting. It's affecting the millennials. It's affecting the people that are supposed to take the country forward. It's affecting the next generation of people.
yeah,
So if you don't want stagnancy with these people, you have to walk with their flow. You have to anticipate their problem, not late reaction. As we speak now, it's late reaction. It's a surprise that we have a sitting government in Nigeria that is not taking intellectual property serious right now because this IP is the new money. This is where your growth index of Nigeria have shown consistent growth. Entertainment industry is visible, it's black and white. You can see like our entertainment industry from Nollywood to Nigerian film industry is doing good in terms of revenue generated. And now just this little thing to make it very effective, to make it comfortable, to make it suiting for the practitioners and to give them a level where they can take it higher. It's not being taken important. We have lawmakers that don't even understand the importance of this law. And then they want like how much? 50 billion to buy new cars. And then the people in the same country are feeling frustrated. The youth in the same country are feeling frustrated. And you have the nerve to still want
more money.
to buy new cars.
Can you imagine?
And then the things that you should help structure, those ones don't even require money. Just show us that you understand our problem
Yeah.
and you want to help us structure our problem.
Yeah. Now, wow. I know. It's frustrating. I know.
Funny.
I know. It's especially with the amount of money that entertainment is generating in that country. Oh my goodness.
It's hard to track. That's why the banks don't support the entertainment industry, because it's hard to track. Nobody can have proper say that this is how much they came in. But we all know, every one of us knows that entertainment is bringing in the cheese. It's bringing in, it's glaring. Even though we can keep track of it. We can keep data.
Yeah.
But it's still very obvious that the entertainment industry is bringing in a lot.
Yeah. I know. I might sound too brazen to say this one, but I know one of the reasons why we don't have data now is because the people who are benefiting from us not having data don't want us to have that data.
So now, if you say the people benefiting,
Yeah.
that is why I'm saying the people benefiting goes beyond the perpetrators, goes to the government, it goes to the judges, it goes to because the only people losing from this are the creative minds.
Yes.
Those are the only people losing, the creative minds,
Yep.
the people with IP. You understand?
Yeah.
Those are the people losing. But for the judge that's going to make the case, is get well settled. For the politician who's passing that notion, is well settled. For the money that is going to go into the ministry, for everything that is going to happen with that, for the money that we're losing, there are people profiting from it directly or indirectly.
Yep.
And the people suffering are the people that have created this work of art. If Nigeria is structured in such a way that, for this hit, I had a hit song in January. It was just 3 months. I had a hit song in January. And then you check with proper tabulation, will report that the music was played 3 times on this FM, was played 4 times in the middle night, and we can have a tracking device, and you actually go home at the end of the day for a hit song. You get something tangible.
Yes.
That is where we should aspire to play. That is the level of which we should aspire to play, rather than celebrating that every one of our members got 200 and got to 25,000. All our members have been collecting dues. They got 25,000. Hey, because it's easier for people that don't have any work of art, and we get 25,000. They want to come every time. So we're not even going anywhere.
Head Gone, your movie.
Yeah.
That was the movie, in my opinion. I might be wrong, but that's the movie that's had the most celebrities cameoed in a Nigerian Nollywood movie. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah, but it became a trend, After Head Gone, a lot of people followed suit. And right now, I don't know if Head Gone, after Head Gone, a lot of people follow suit. So I don't know if I lost track, so I can't even say. Nobody's counting celebs in the film. Everybody's counting how the film is able to tell a narrative.
Yeah.
And it didn't start like trying to get celeb as much as possible celeb in the film. It started as, let's fill this with characters, people that could play this. And it happens that most of the people that, could play were people that we've dealt with over the years, and everybody's of value in their own right.
Yep.
And it was particularly awesome that everybody could find time to be a part of the particular project.
Yes.
So it was a good experience, and thank God that became another genre after plenty actor film.
Yeah.
After we've had quite a couple of people doing that as well and everything, but it's all good.
Yeah. For those who don't know, Two-Face was in the movie. Ali Baba was in the movie. You were in the movie. Sultan was in the movie.
Yeah.
Akpororo was in the movie.
Yeah.
Aluwa was in the movie.
Yeah.
Saka was in the
Basket Mouth was in the movie. Tunde Obalana was in the movie. Baso Tyler Jr. was in the movie. Who was Eniola
Eniola
Badmus
Badmus was in the movie.
Saka was in the movie. Tunji Shotimiri was in the movie.
Man, Zach
Oji
was in the movie.
was in the movie. I just had a lot of people.
Wow.
Sunday Omobolanle Aluwe was in the movie. The most important thing is like we've been able to create a movie that other people from a different part of the world could see and relate with.
Yeah.
Because
I saw the movie on Netflix.
Picked up. Yeah, it got picked up for not just Netflix, but Netflix America, Netflix Canada, Netflix UK. So that it went a lot, and a lot of people got commendation for it. That oh, this is good. I like this.
Nice.
It's just that right now we have to do more. We have to create more and put it out there.
Yeah. And was it okay? You know, you trying to monetize it. Did you find it difficult, or did you face the normal hurdles?
No. I felt like the particular project was favored because I mean the number of cast, the management of the cast, and then the storytelling ability and the comedy in it has been able to help the distribution.
Yes.
Because if you still see the film, I still have people telling me, oh, but I haven't seen the film. But if you still see the film, you still have that kind of feeling of somebody just seeing the film for the first time.
Yeah.
So it's all good.
Yeah. To me, this guy was my funniest guy in the movie. Akpororo.
Akpororo got an international award for it. Akpororo, I'll share you a story. Yeah, he got a GIMA award in Texas as Best Comedic Actor. He was also nominated for the African Movie Magic Award for Best Actor, which I thought he should have won if everything was proper. But Nigeria is a place that things are not proper. For me, when we were recording, he kept keeping his time. He kept his call time. It was coming. When it's not coming, he's like, yeah, look, I can't come this day, but I'll come by this day and let's make it. Okay, so he kept it on. It was good. So towards the last day, we had a pick-up scene for him to shoot. So he came back. I was like weeks after shooting had ended. And we couldn't shoot that day. And it was going. Then he told me, look, see how long I've been coming here for this camera. I was like, look, listen, I think you're doing a great job. You shot a very good film. And I think this film is going to give you awards. And he looked at me. And he told me, like, huh? Like I was sweet talking him, actually. That's like...
As a bros.
Yeah, you know that kind of thing. This bros, all this like, do this, what to say this. I beg you go set the table, shoot it, go shoot it. So, but when he got nominated for all those awards, and he finally picked up the one in Texas, and a lot of people started seeing him more as an actor.
Wow.
So it's good. It's good.
I told Larry Sultan, I said, when I watched the movie, I said, the guy that stood out for me was Akpororo. So as you saying he won awards now is not really
because it
surprising.
was like what I tried to do with the casting is just trying to get as close to the character, people that I know, as close as possible to the character. And him, I just saw, I was back in Nigeria, I didn't know him. You know, I didn't know most of the comedians. I've been out of the country, so I was back in Nigeria. I was somewhere in Surulere, and they had like a comedian coming, and the guy picked the microphone, and his energy was deafening. I was like, "Who's this guy?" Then I went by, I saw Sultan. I told Sultan, "Look, I found the thief." I was like, "What thief?" Yeah, the thief in the movie. His name is this. I said, yeah. I said, that guy. So he's the one. No other person is the
Wow.
And thank God it was good.
His role there was 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 he 100% scripted, or was he doing it on improv?
Yeah, like I mean, like as a good actor, he's gonna bring some things into the character, and as a good director, what you have to do is to curtail those things it brings
Yeah.
to make sure that it's not excessive and it suits the role.
Yeah.
So his interpretation of the role was awesome. His interpretation, I will give it to the way he interpreted the role, because some other person could have played the same role,
And it'd be
and I would have been very fine too. But his own interpretation of the role, he earned the role, he owned the role.
yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, man. No, it's been great having you here. We had to just rush this session because Baba
Yeah.
Dee just came in from Sweden and he's
Yeah.
out tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
So we just had to at least let him grace this podcast. But he'll be back pretty soon when next he's in London. It was great having you, Baba Dee.
You won't buy my ticket and fly me to London. Is
I
it
know.
when next I go?
Okay, yeah, we'll
On
buy
this
his
hour,
ticket.
Plus, I will plus everything. We'll keep life plus. But man, it's been great being here. I must be honest with
same
you.
here,
You're
Baba
doing a very fine job. Like I
you.
said, it's about time that most of us, the guys that have been in this thing for decades,
Yeah.
it's time we invest in the game.
That's
It's
true.
time we take our own part of the game.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, like I say, if the rabbit don't learn to speak, the story will always
Always favor the
glorify the
hunter.
hunter.
That's true.
Yeah, so
That's
so
true.
people can come in tomorrow and tell you that, oh, the best rapper in the world does this. But if you don't have a platform to contradict that, and you don't have a community to contradict that, so be it.
Yeah, true. That's
So we have to, as I am right now, Afrobeat and the evolution of Afrobeat is very close to my heart, but I don't want to be anybody's broken record or anything like that. But it's very, very important that we keep a structure that enables us benefit from the music and keep the ethics and the cultures of the music, so that the
Yes.
music won't be used. Because what you find out when this music enters the hands of some other, the way it will be used, it will be used contradictory to everything the music stands for. So that is why we have to be more involved. We have to be stakeholders.
Yes.
We have to be stakeholders. That's just it.
Yes. Word. Couldn't say it better. And on that note, see you guys next week.